Hello everyone, and welcome if you're new to Butterfly Blessing Studio, where I like to say ideas take flight, and hopefully some creativity will flutter by your way as well. Going to pull everything out of the box. I think I'm going to try to set it just to the side. We'll have the menu here. I need to pull out a little, and then maybe we'll look at things one by one. But I did see a little preview, and I'm very excited about the intriguing contents of this month's box. Here we have a lovely sticker in shades of yellowish brown there. I'm going to put that just out of frame. And this is a little interesting. I don't know. This is the art. It's very well executed, but I'm not sure what I think about the concept there. Sarah Mason. I'd have to hear more about that. Yeah, I was like, whoa, wait, what? Is that a doll? But it's very well done. So, and I think that this month's prompt has to do with that. It's a premium, you read that right, coffee watercolor box. Now, I have painted with coffee before, and I regularly dye papers with it, but these, I believe, let's open this up. You can just ignore this side if you want to be surprised, are watercolors. I have pulled aside here the surface here. It's a paint-on pad. I think we've had this brand before. I don't know that we've got it in this natural shade before. So I'm going to pull a piece of this off. Had to growl a bit to get it off. Perfect for mixed media, absorbent paper, perfect for mixed media artwork. Okay, that's a little bit redundant, but that's fine. So it's supposed to take water well, and thinking of that, I might need to get some water. Hold on. Okay, got some water, got a little palette, we have the paper here, and look at this fancy little box. Is that Canadian, the maple leaf? Yes. Made in Canada. We have a maple leaf. And I don't know what to expect of this, but that's cool. It's from my North American neighbors, just to the north. That's redundant too. We can all be redundant. And, ooh, these are full big tubes. 8 mils. Wow. So we have 2 coffee colors, and I wonder if it does smell like coffee. Americano and espresso. They look pretty high quality. I'm pretty excited to try these, and especially since, honestly, this is one of those things that I probably wouldn't buy, you know, because, I don't know, sometimes, maybe if it was on sale or something, but it's not like the thing I would be feeling, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, so I love getting the Sketchbox because it allows me to try things that I might not buy otherwise. And sometimes I find, oh, I don't like it. And that's okay, because, you know, it still gets me to practice art, and it still gets me to be challenged outside my comfort zone, and sometimes I discover a new favorite item that way, which I love. So, in order to do some more swatching here, I'm going to grab this item. It is the Bear Claw Pencil from Koala Tools. Lightly sketch out your piece with this 4B pencil. Has a little eraser. I'm not thinking this is going to be amazing, but let's find out. So we have, I'm just going to call, ooh, it's nice and soft, but that just means I'm going to have to be careful. Bear Claw Pencil. And it is nice and smooth. Now let me see if I can do something more subtle. It's an odd shape. It's triangular, and I don't know if it's going to be easy to sharpen. That I'm kind of noticing right away. What should I sketch? Like, see, this is the prompt this month, latte, which I'm not that excited about either. I've drawn things like that before, but I don't know, just not feeling it, and that happens sometimes. So I'm trying to sketch out little mug, and look, I made a mistake. So let's see what we can do with the eraser. No, not gonna get fine erasing for sure, but it does seem to do all right. Better than expected. So the little blue is cute. It's blue. It's different. I don't love the feel of it, but that's personal preference. It's a little bit fat, and yeah, I don't know what I think about the triangular. It is easy to hold it in like a proper pencil grip, so maybe I'll like it over time. That's funny because another item in a previous box, this was a Koala Tools item that I did not like to start with, and I didn't even know how to do it right. And I don't know that I would buy it, but now that I have it, I have used it, and it's pretty easy to make circles, and I grab it and I just have it hanging nearby. And so sometimes my first impression is less, you know, favorable than my later impression. And then what do we have here? A Derwent drawing pencil. I've had these in the past. I like them. I don't have many of them, just a couple. This is wheat. What does it say about it? It just says create strong highlights. So, you know, off the top of my head, I don't know if this is wax-based, oil-based. I think maybe wax, but not really sure. So it's not really jumping off the paper there, because it's not much. It's only a smidgen lighter than the paper. I'm just going to try to lay down some pencil and go over it. And we have some smearing, but we can get some differentiation, but I don't know that it's really going on top of it here. So that'll be interesting. I anticipate that it might work better over the watercolors, which I put over here, but I haven't played with them yet because I see something else in the box that might be helpful to use with it. We've got a couple markers. We're going to come back to that, but look at this Sketchbox Signature Quill Brush in a size 2. It says, this fluffy brush can hold a large amount of water for delicate washes or dynamic marks. Its unique form factor allows for minimal brush strokes and unique watercolor effects. Well, that's going to be something I need to practice because I'm not as good at the whole intuitive minimal strokes method, but this does look like a very nice brush. We have serious protection there, and let's see if we can get a good look at it. Lovely, and it's very stiff, so we're going to give it some swirl time in the water. It just needed a little bit of encouragement to break up that sizing that was protecting it. So there it is, nice and wet. And let's just go in. Oh dear, I did forget which one I put where. I think the darker one is espresso, so I put them in here and I forgot about them. So this one is going to be Americano. Wait a minute. There is. It smells like espresso. It's not bad if you like coffee. If you don't like coffee and you don't like the smell of coffee, beware. So that is interesting. Now this isn't watercolor paper, so it's not going to act like watercolor paper. Wow, I'm just speaking in these amazing truths today. But look at that. It's got some cool separation already and a beautiful color. So that was Americano. Let's have a look at, whoa. Espresso is deep and dark. Wow. Ooh, isn't it fun to watch watercolor travel in water? This is going to take more experimentation to make an opinion because I don't know how it's going to act compared to watercolor, and granted, I am not a watercolor expert. I'm like an intermediate beginner with watercolor, so let me see if I can make a really light wash there. I think we're going to be able to get a lot of different values, but wow, it really does smell like coffee. Ooh, and you get some interesting marks. Oops, I didn't wash that off very well. Okay, I'm taking over my whole paper, but you know what, it'll be good to see how these layer. And boy, I threw a lot of water right there. This is very interesting. It has some very interesting separation that could be totally fun, and it could be totally frustrating if you weren't expecting it. So this is a fun thing to play with. Now, what does this say? These are just tips. It's about layering. While there's no wrong way to combine the materials in this month's box, the above coffee beans demonstrate an easy technique to start with after the pencil sketch is complete. Use the watercolor to establish value, pull out highlights with the Derwent drawing pencil and pigment real brush. The alcohol marker in this month's box can be used to add value and saturation. So sometimes, yeah, I'd say certain things don't like to layer upon others. Certain things are easier. And that pencil was super thick, so I think that this drawing pencil will layer better on dry watercolor and definitely on the alcohol marker. And I don't know about this guy. Let's just check this out. What is this? There's a pigment real brush marker. Opaque bristled brush offers striking highlights. Again, there's not a whole lot of information about the materials, which I guess you can just look it up online, but I like to see it. So this says acrylic permanent paint. So it's a paint pen. Durable brush tip, suitable for most surfaces. Okay. And it looks like you didn't have to prime it or anything. And it's by Karen? So, I don't think I've used this brush pen in. If I have, maybe it was ink or something, but never with acrylic paint. So that's still pretty light on top of the toned paper here. Let's go back up here. We're going to go right across the Derwent drawing that's on top of the graphite. I believe that's graphite pencil, yes. And let's see. We'd pick up a bit of graphite when going just over the soft graphite pencil. What if it's lighter? Do I pick it up there? I'm still picking up some graphite, so that's something to note so that you don't transfer it where you don't want it, which I have some experience doing that, yes. So, and then we have, oops, I want to make some lines. That's not a very good swatch, is it? And I will come back to my lake of watercolor here. This is mostly dry. Maybe I can just, see, look at that. It goes on top of that pretty well. Does it fade out? That's a good thing to find out. Oh, I think that might not have been completely dry because it looks like I picked up some color transfer there. Sometimes I find with white, this isn't even white, what was this? Almond, the color, that it will like sort of absorb into the paper and be less opaque, if that makes sense, and I generally don't like that. I want my white marks to be white, but it's good to know which one you're using and what it does. So experiment, experiment, experiment. And we have the plastic off easily. There was a lot of plastic on there. What a beautiful color. I do have to say, I like the color of this Sketchbox signature alcohol marker, which it looks to me like it is just like, it looks similar to the Copic sketch, I think. That looks like this, and we have a chisel on this side and a brush on this side. Lovely chisel end. And you have the gray that shows through here as kind of an easier indicator that you're on the brush end, but you can see it there as well, labeled. So that's nice. And on the end here we have caramel, YR179. Yellow reddish, I don't know. Caramel's a nice sounding color. Here is a Copic sketch marker to compare. So I do believe either they're not partnering with them, but maybe they're using them as an example. Looks like our Sketchbox one is just slightly longer, but they have the same idea there, even this gray neck. So yeah, interesting to note. Let's have a look at the color. Ooh, nice. Very warm. This is Copic. I hope I'm still in frame. Yay! Yay, I'm still in frame. When I forget, there's a significant alcohol smell. I think I prefer the coffee smell to that. Of course, I mean, what do I expect with an alcohol marker? Now, look at this. It looks different. That is interesting. Maybe because the brush just wasn't putting as much color down, but when I put, yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Am I crazy? Or when you just lay it down, it looks like the brush end is a slightly different color. Let's see how that dries. Because I don't think that's normal. That does not seem normal. Now this still isn't dry, so let's help it out. Okay, so that took a long time. And I think it's not even 100% dry. So if you put a whole lake of watercolor on this paper, you're gonna need to wait a long time. And sometimes they dry differently, drying, air-wise versus heat. So try that out on your own time. I love this brush, but working small, it's gonna be a challenge. I'm gonna have a hard time not getting too much water. So that'll be my challenge, and I'm glad that this is watercolor because I put so much on there. I'm gonna have this for days. But I can make a few different shades out of that. I think I need another paper because I wanted to. Here I am, starting and not finishing my sentences again. This one I wanted to try. Come here, you. So it does. Why am I doing a W? I don't know what I'm doing. Goes pretty well over the dry. Again, it's not like super opaque, but you could maybe build up some highlights, or looks a little better on that dark one. Let's see here. I do like this. It doesn't seem to fade that much when drying, and it's got a very nice, I don't know if you can tell. Did I even show this? Let's see. How close can we get? Alright, sacrifice my finger. I wanted to show that, and that's not even working. I don't know. Maybe you can tell that they're individual bristles. Gonna get that off before it dries. But they're expressive, like painting with a brush. And so you can go down and get a thicker line, and then you can just beat right on the top and get something. Whoops, let's try that again. Nice and fine, and of course my big old hand is in the way. So straight up and down, get a little bit of a finer line there, and then the more you push into the belly, it's not going to get too thick because it's not very long, but you get a little bit more. Look at that, I even got like excess pigment there. I wonder about going on this side. Yeah, you can get a nice wide line there. I think you need to go slow with this one. I'm not sure why I think that. I just feel like, well, let's just try. Okay, yeah, so if you go faster, maybe that's something I saw on their preview, is you get more of a dry brush look, which could be what you want. But if you want more solid, you're gonna have to take your time. What, is that a theme in this box? Take your time, because, there's a couple things here. Well, let's see what else we can do with this lovely brush, and check out these very fragrant coffee colors. So let me see here. I'm gonna try to do really thin. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Look at the tiny thin marks. That's great. I feel like you're gonna need some practice with this, but oh my goodness. Is this a hedgehog? Is this the beginning of a hedgehog here? Well, it looks like it could be little spikies or porcupine. And it looks maybe like it could be fur-like, but then I don't like how thick I made that one. I'm liking this brush so far, though. I feel like it's going to be hard to do certain things with it, but it's going to be great for doing certain things. That was not very, just ignore that. Just wasn't very amazingly said. Okay, I want to get this. I don't know, this, I'm trying to mix the two. Whoa, too much. Well, now I have it everywhere. And I'm doing that on camera. Lovely. Let's grab a little more of the lighter color. There we go. I was thinking I was going to try to get a little body in here of... I don't even have a picture in my head of what this is supposed to look like, so this could be way off, but we're just going to go with it. Should look it up, but I don't know. Maybe up there. Okay, it's looking like a rock with grass coming out of it, but this is not the artwork. I just have to say, I was just trying that. I should have done the lighter one first. Well, first I should have looked at a picture. What does a hedgehog or a porcupine look like? Then do the body, then do the hair, but I'm all backwards. My natural inclination is to do it backwards or the hardest way possible. But that's okay, because I'm just playing around here and seeing what we can do. And that was the point. So now I want to see how thick. And look at this. When this brush is bent like this, I am getting a lot of water. It's like hanging out there. That's like puddle level there. So one of the things that I'm still kind of beginner level in watercolor is really controlling the water. I've heard the tip of like getting some water off the belly with your towel handy. I think I just washed it. So, but I think it takes a lot of practice. So if you're new, give yourself grace and play around a lot, because you will get better if you're practicing at least the right techniques. You want to have at least some guidance from somebody who's an expert in watercolor. I like to check out books from the library and things. Especially, sometimes art books I like to check out from the library first. And if I love it, then I buy a copy. Because I have a lot of books already and not a lot of space. So, okay, this brush is awesome, and I need to practice with it. But you can see that there's a lot of variety you can get with it, and I want to see this is perpetually messy, but look at that weird coffee water. Important thing is, if you're having coffee nearby, you're going to have to make sure you do not mix up your coffee mug with your dirty water. I'm interested to know toxicity and all that. Does it say on here? They're very conscious about the environment. Pigments made from natural organic products. Source the pigments from rocks, plants, and anything in nature. Purify and process them into fine powder and mix with the finest Arabic gum, honey, or other mineral extracts. And, interesting. It says, what? They're safe to be used by all, including children. That is reassuring to me because, and this is pretty cool, I like to support companies like, well, American companies, but Canada's my neighbor. I like to support Canadian companies too, so really exciting. It does have a retail price of $20.98, so roughly $10 a tube. That isn't that different than professional grade watercolors. I wonder if there's some light fastness information on the website. I'll have to look that up. But wow, if you like coffee, it's not a bad smell, I'm telling you. Okay, so now I need to do some artwork, I think. That's probably what I should do now. Alright, thank you so much for watching and checking these supplies out with me. Let me know what you think in the comments. I always love to hear your thoughts, and if I don't get a chance to say it later, as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful creative... Okay, I just taped my paper down with some Holbein soft tape to this, what is this, cutting mat, just because it's easy to move around, and I don't know, I just did that, and then I'm going to try to sketch out my drawing here. Ooh, here we go. Okay, so here it is, finished, all dry. I think it turned out pretty well. I wish I could have got his teeth a little more orange. And interestingly, that marker, my marker, dried, like the chisel end was darker, so I don't know what's up with that. But this is my little beaver that I made, my husband's favorite animal currently, so I thought it would make a nice gift for him. I hope you enjoyed seeing the process, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful and creative day. Bye!